Hey folks, I hope you're all doing well and that those of you who celebrate it enjoyed this Christmas. Even if you don't adhere to the religious element of Christmas, I hope that anyone seeing this had a good day with family, friends, and anyone else that's important in your life. The point of today's video is I want to convey a message for 2019. As anyone who spends any amount of time within the internet subculture will no doubt be aware, a YouTube content creator who goes by the name of Sargon of Akkad, real name Carl Benjamin, was a few weeks ago unfairly and arbitrarily banned by the payment processor Patreon for something he said on a live stream almost a year ago. Now, the thing about that is that when Sargon was banned, what he said was not on his own channel, nor was it even posted to Patreon. So he did not break the terms of service of their website. Nonetheless, because what he said was a racial epithet used sarcastically against white supremacists, the people at Patreon, specifically called the Trust and Safety Team, decided that they could no longer ideologically allow him to produce content and receive payment through their website. This has sent ripples through the internet community as Sargon is a large and prominent creator. In the wake of his banning, several much larger creators have left the website, and many people who aren't even involved in politics or social commentary have seen a decline in their own support. This situation has also had a direct effect on me personally, because although none of my patrons have cancelled their support of me, a fact for which I am very grateful, the likelihood of any further growth of my own Patreon account is very low. Because of all this activity, Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, and other members of the so-called intellectual dark web have announced their intention to launch a competitor to Patreon that truly stands for the ideals of free speech. This is something I wholeheartedly support, even if the chance of me as a South African being able to use their competing site is extremely unlikely. I say it's unlikely not because I believe they don't want to help South African content creators, but because South African monetary law is very complicated and they simply may not want to go through the hassle of having to satisfy our inane and ridiculous government. That being said, this whole debacle with Patreon brings to my mind a central problem experienced by people all around the world today. We seem to be constantly at one another's throats. We now live in an outrage culture where we lurch from controversy to controversy, just looking for the next fight. It is my hope that in 2019, and as unlikely as it seems, that we will be able to restore some semblance of sanity to public discourse and talk to each other like human beings, regardless of our political leanings. Take me, for example. I consider myself to be socially left-leaning, yet I have friends who are decidedly right-wing as well as left-wing, because you should see people as people first and not representatives of their political groups. Being South African, and particularly a white South African, I know what it is like to be blamed for the actions of people who look like you, even if you yourself had nothing to do with the things for which you are blamed. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, groupthink and mob mentality are not productive or useful ways to live. In fact, they are most of the reasons why South Africa is currently in socio-economic freefall, and it looks like we probably won't pull out of it anytime soon. So overall, I just hope that sanity is restored to the way we communicate with one another and the way that we choose to run our lives. Because it can't be healthy to thrive on anger and conflict all the time. It's no coincidence that people online are constantly posting videos and statuses about being depressed and feeling aimless and that life has no point. If you constantly feel anger towards anyone over the slightest ideological disagreement, no wonder you'll feel like nothing you do has any purpose, because you'll feel as if you lack control over anything in your own life. So if you take nothing else away from this video, I want you to remember this. People are people first, and politics always comes second. Have a great day.